Hello there. This is what a fellow named Dave Lemons asked me to specifically address this fill. Now, you really prominently hear it in, the Led Zeppelin Jam of 1974. Open up a parallel window or do it in the window right in YouTube. Led Zeppelin Jam 1974. You'll hear and it goes into a now, there's two things. In that specific thing, Bonham uses this stutter to go from the ba-da-la-la-la-la into the ba-da-na-na-na-na-na. The stutter that he normally employs usually lasts just 2 beats. One and, well, I mean, it depends on how you want to count it. So watch. So here, let's just get right, because what happens is, I made this video a couple times, I keep going off on the Led Zeppelin Jam of 74 off into numerous tangents, which I'm not going to do. So check this out. So we can still, for now, attach the stutter to the first segment. Now, Bonham, I don't think in the Jam of 74 actually puts that fill in that segment. He might later, I forgot, but it really recurs in the Now, just get right then to the beef, because I keep going off the subject, the concept, the thing. What we're going to do then is, just check this out. Get on your drums. Let's say you're on your drums. You're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Just a straight, what I call beat 1. So what we're going to do, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and as we're counting here, starting on the 3, we're going to make it we're going to count a triplet hand to hand on the snare. So I'm going to go slow. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay? That's what Bonham's doing there, but he's not sticking it that way, but it's that simple. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... But now here's an easier way to count it. Well, just for now, just again, remember, there's a lot of ways to play stuff where you don't have to like count it the way it is in the music, or when somebody annotates something for you. Well, really, you're putting an eighth note triplet in there, a quarter note triplet. No, just forget about that for now. Go like this: 1 and 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Sorry. Okay? Pardon me. I just had a large Dunkin' Donuts decaf. I'm on decaf now. Because God knows I'm trying to de-do my drummer. Anyway, no more tangents. So remember where we left it off? 1 and 2 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Remember, sticking-wise, or just as if you couldn't hear me talk, if you just heard me playing the drums, 1 and 2 and 1. It's the same thing as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay? It is. So practice that. That's what you want to do now, just to get sort of your way into it. You can go like, now bring in the, for now, just to go. We'll keep that up for now. Let's just keep the first segment, because it sounds so kind of cool. But if you loop that, okay? And you just make it beat 1. This is going the long way through the whole thing. 1 and 2 and 3. practice that, okay? But now there's two things. There's sort of two ways that we go here in the learning of two separate giblets, two separate nuggets, two separate globules, okay? The first, what we'll do is we'll do the hands. We'll keep it on the fans. The hands. There's the fan on the furnace, but here's the hands. 1 and 2 and 1. We're going to go 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Okay, because we're doubling everything up, it's what scholars would say. It's like, well, it's like a dotted. Something is dotted, but forget the terminology. What I want you to do is just go like this. Sit back, just your triplets. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. I'm trying to address this to all skill levels. So you're going to go 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So you're accenting every other right hand in the 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Okay? So what happens there before we go off onto the second globule is that accent is what makes that fill sound so cool. Okay, because it gives the illusion of like a 16th note, like a grouping of 4, but in a triplet, which I'll get to in a minute. Now the other globule is on the bass drum, so go like this. 1, and remember, these two are the same things. If you're more advanced, you can be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. If you'd rather do it this way, do it this way. 1 and 2 and 1. Okay? 1 and 2 and 3. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add in a note on the bass drum first, but from tripletberg. 1 and 2 and a, okay? 1 and 2 and a 1 and 2 and a 1. Or if you're more advanced, 1 and 2 and a 1. If you're more advanced, 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4. Okay? So now let's sit and stop here for a second. Remember, go slow because you want to sink it in your mind. 1 and 2 and. What that little lead-off note's in tripletberg is leading into the. Okay, that's the first note. What's going to happen is those bass drums, instead of just 1 and 2 and 1. That bass drum's going to go. Okay? It's easier to do than you think, but you might have to approach it slow. God, I might have to make this 2 parts. But you know what you can do? You can just rewind. Make it 2 parts on your own. So get up to that point. That's where we want to be. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. And then bring in the accent then. 1, go slow. 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and then back to this. And 2 and 3 and you're atonal a little right now. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Okay? 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So that's what's happening there. So practice that. The slightly simpler way without the bass drum, well, except the bass drum and the main beat. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 1. Now bring in the accents with the right hand. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. And so then also too, don't feel like you have to count. I'm just trying to demonstrate where it is. And so it'll sound like this. If you're not, you just be like. Into this. So now here we are. I don't know how many minutes we are to this, but if you get to that point, you're sort of at like a place. Just get to that point, and then you can add that bass drum, the bass drum that goes into the here. What we want to do then is, now that you don't have to really, this is really just demonstrating the concept if it's really just 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, okay? Okay? But now what happens is, the beautiful part is that 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, that's 12 notes. Okay, now just bear in mind here, what happens is, without you really thinking about what those are, you know what's also 12 notes? Is 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. So that's the illusion it gives. 1 and 2 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3. It's the same as 1 and 2 and 3. It's still 12 notes. You don't remember, you don't have to count stuff. When I play the drums, I never count in my head. I just do it, you know, for these purposes. But that's kind of what makes that sound so cool. Okay? So you can kind of think about 2 ways, like 1, but what I'm going to do is, let me keep the 8th notes for the ban, but na 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 na, let me bring it down the bon, but na na na, there we go, bon, but na na na, you could do that the whole time. It's just sort of like a syncopated way of approaching it. But he doesn't do it that long in the bar, okay? So when you get to that point, again, what you want to do is listen along to the song. Just loop it. And just sing it kind of while it's going, or just tap it. You'll get the feel for it. It's deceptively simple, like most of Bonham's stuff. It's actually a really simple concept. But what he does is he sticks it a certain way on the drum kit. Literally, like a drum he uses or an accent he puts, and it really kind of creates a small mind screw. Like, it gives it the illusion of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and into a downbeat. Okay, isn't that really, really cool? So I'm going to leave this here. We'll do a second part to this, because this video is just going to be way too long and I want to jam too much stuff in it. So get to that point. Remember, this is the really cool Bonham thing. He normally employ it, though, even though he does it mostly in the jam of 74, like... You know, if you want to see that made me think of George. Look at George on Bonzology. Okay, Bonzology with George and Terry. It's really George's channel. Watch him do that. Look on his channel. Type in just 1974 to his search. Or even if you type it into the YouTube search, Led Zeppelin Jam in 1974, George's will come up. You'll see him do it, okay? The neat thing is now with YouTube is you can watch stuff at like half speed or quarter speed, 3/4 speeds. That's really helpful. It'll sound like, but you'll really be able to see it, okay? So it's important just to get to that point. Okay, remember what we did? A quick summary. 1 and 2 and 1. Let me take off the snares. Oh, they're still on. 1 and 2 and 1, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 1, 1 3 and 4, or for the more 3 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and then bringing the accent. Okay, we'll leave it there. I hope this is helpful. Again, thanks Dave Lemons for doing this. Remember, if you want to send me... Moxie, come on! If you want to send me, you know, any questions about drumming or gear or this type of thing, at Bonzoleum, bonzoleum@gmail.com. I also have t-shirts, too, if you want it. Black ones with orange writing and white ones with blue writing. There's essentially more or less now $20 per shirt shipped to you. Post office shipping, you can't do FedEx or UPS because once you get to a smaller package, they sort of hit you anyway. So it's got to be the United States Post Office, but there will be tracking with it. So anyway, bonzoleum@gmail.com. Again, don't forget to check out Max Riley's channel. He's the fellow that did that music over my drum playing from one of my Keith Moon videos. And he made a video on how he made it. So Max Riley. Don't forget, bonzoleum@gmail.com. More videos on the way. Thank you for watching. Max, it's all right, buddy. Uh-oh, hang on.